Greetings, Internet friends. AJ here with a very special episode of 8-Bit Horse, where we're going to take a look at the best 2D video games of 2012. There was a lot of really outstanding stuff released throughout the year, so this gives us a good excuse to talk about all of our favorite games and give out awards, very meaningful awards to all the best stuff that came out this year. So, we're going to hop right into it with our very first category, which is the best updated re-release of a 2D game in 2012. And the nominees are Probability Zero by Draken, which was originally released as a Flash game. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils by Platine Dispositif, which was released in Japan in 2006 and re-released and localized by Rockin' Android in 2012. Spelunky by Mossmouth, which was originally released as a freeware game on the PC in 2008, rolled over to 1.0 in 2009, and then he worked on an Xbox Live Arcade version, which came out in 2012. La Mulana by Nigoro, which was a Japanese freeware PC game in 2005, which was updated for WiiWare and PC. Came out in some territories in 2011, came out in the US in 2012. Big Sky Infinity by Boss Baddie and Vufu Studios, which is an upgrade/update to Boss Baddie's Really Big Sky, which was released on PC in 2011. And the winner for the best updated re-release of a 2D video game in 2012 goes to Spelunky. It's a procedurally generated game. It had a lot of followers on PC, and that popularity led them to do an Xbox Live Arcade version, which is updated graphics and gameplay and some new modes and that sort of thing. So that's your best game for 2012 for an updated re-release. Moving on to our next category, it's the most innovative 2D game for 2012. And the nominees are Snapshot by Retro Effect, where you solve puzzles by taking pictures and rotating them and using them elsewhere in the environment, and they conserve the momentum of the things you took the picture of. Mark of the Ninja by Clay Entertainment, which is a 2D stealth action game starring a ninja where you can do all kinds of cool stealth ninja takedowns. They Bleed Pixels from Spooky Squid Games, which has one-button combos, acrobatics, lots of environmental interaction, jumping off the walls, kicking guys into spikes, and all that sort of thing. Velocity by Future Lab, which is a shmup that introduces a teleportation mechanic where you can teleport through walls and set off switches and sort of solve puzzles and do shmuppy things at the same time. Offspring Fling by Kyle Pulver, where you solve puzzles by throwing your cute little babies at things. Cute little babies. Dust Force by Hitbox Team, which features acrobatic dusting, speedrunning, different characters with different abilities, and running and jumping off of walls and cleaning up the environment. Out There Somewhere by Mini-Boss, which features advanced teleportation, where you teleport and then you fall and then you re-teleport, and there's beams that do different things. Very different sort of teleportation. And the winner for the most innovative 2D video game in 2012 goes to Offspring Fling, which lets you solve puzzles, you hop on switches, you change the environment around, you toss babies, you bounce them off springboards to bounce them through the environment and re-pick them up and use them to weigh down elevators. Very innovative gameplay, very tightly designed puzzle environment. Also, some honorable mentions in this category. One is Dust Force, which features some really tight level designs. There aren't many games that focus on cleaning things up, dusting, and this has sections where you're sliding down hills and jumping off walls and timing jumps and having to do pixel perfect hits just to get all the dust out of the environment. Lots of stuff for speedrunners and lots of reasons to come back and keep playing. And another honorable mention in this category goes to Out There Somewhere, which is... It does feature teleportation, which is used in a lot of games, especially since Portal came out. This is a very different sort of teleportation design. You don't just teleport and reappear somewhere else. You actually teleport, and then the teleportation beam goes across, so you're still playing while it's moving, and then when it hits, you teleport to that location, and you can jump conserve momentum to jump up into new areas and that sort of thing. There's beams that make your little teleportation beam fly up and do other things. So lots of really innovative gameplay in all three of those titles. Next category. Next category is the best old school throwback. And the nominees are Retro City Rampage from V Blank Entertainment, which is a throwback to the Grand Theft Auto series, particularly GTA 1 and 2 with their top-down action. Plus it has a lot of references to other video games and pop culture from the 80s. Super Ninja Warrior Extreme from Ho Hum Games, which is high-speed ninja action along the lines of Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden, that sort of thing. Speedy slicing and dicing. SEAL Team 12 from Social Loner Studios, which is a throwdown to the top-down action games from old, like Ikari Warriors and Commando. Oniken from Danilo Diaz and Pedro Paiva, which is basically a throwback to every side-scrolling 8-bit action game you've ever played. Slick from Halcyon SOFTWORKS, which is a throwback to the Super Mario Bros. Games and other platformers like that, only quite a bit harder than any of those. Hotline Miami from Denaton Games, which is also a throwback to Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2, but in a very different way, much darker and more surreal. Pushcat by Zut, which is a throwback to Boulder Dash and mixes in Match 3 style puzzle games. Maldita Castilla from Locomolito, which is a throwback to Ghosts and Goblins and the Ghouls and Ghosts games. And the winner for the best old school throwback 2D video game in 2012 is Oniken, which is, as I said, it's throwback to pretty much all of the old 8-bit classics. You've got swordplay, slicing guys in half, you press up to throw grenades instead of a separate button. It's old school hard, lots of bosses. It's a good time. Hello?
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm the 8-bit horse.
You're the 8-bit horse.
Yes?
I didn't think there actually was an 8-bit horse.
Well, who do you think signs your paychecks?
I guess I never what are you doing? What do you want?
I want to give out an award too.
You want to give out your own awards?
Yes.
And we're in the middle of the awards. You just got your own category ready to go,
yes, huh? I do.
Okay, so what type of award do you want to give out?
I would like to give an award to the weirdest game of 2012.
The weirdest game?
Yes.
That sounds like a legitimate category.
Well, there were lots of weird games, but I have a list of the ones that I thought were the weirdest.
All right, so while you can give me your list, there's a line you have to say before you do a category.
And the nominees are...
All right, give me your list.
Okay.
City Tuesday by Return to Adventure Mountain, which is a game with infographic-style graphics, where you're trying to get bombs and thwart terrorists, and there's sort of a time travel aspect where you go back in time and repeat actions and save the day. That's what you do. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils by Platine Dispositif, which is just weird. You're a cat/bunny rabbit sort of lady, and you pick up all these different weapons, and you're fighting, like you fight a giant evil cat and its paws at one point. It's a strange little game. They Bleed Pixels from Spooky Squid Games, which is a Lovecraftian horror action game where you're fighting demons with a little girl with claws for hands and kung fu skills. Applejack 2 by My Owl Software, which is a sequel to the already pretty strange Applejack, where you're a guy with an apple for a head who throws washing machines at pandas and rides flying eyeballs. Hotline Miami from Denaton Games, which is very surreal and dark and twisted, and you just never quite know what's going on. Go Gimbal Go from Gimbal Lock Studios, which is a very cheery, colorful game where you grind on rails, soar through the air with your crazy, sticky, stretchy arm, and save children who are trapped in bubbles. Black Knight Sword from Grasshopper Manufacture, the studio behind loads of crazy games, which features a knight on a stage with things made out of paper and the set pieces popping up and crazy European art and weird music and just strange from tip to toe. Alright, so that was a pretty interesting category. You've got the winners right there, huh? So just give me the envelope. Let's see who you picked for the best, weirdest game of 2012.
They were all pretty messed up, though.
They were messed up indeed. So the winner you got here is Hotline Miami.
Yes.
Which is that's a weird little game.
Yeah.
But
I like killing the Russians.
Yeah, killing Russians it's usually a good time. It hasn't been a good time since like the 80s, but we like to throw back and kill some Russians every now and again.
Yes.
And it's got some masks as well. You
yes.
put on different masks to go on your killing sprees.
There was a horse mask.
Yeah, there was a horse mask.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with horse masks.
No.
And all the masks gave you different powers to just bloodily murder everybody that you came across.
I like that.
That's a good time. So as a runner-up, we've got They Bleed Pixels.
Yes.
Which is a little girl with bifurcated claw hands, and she's in a.
You don't want to make her mad.
No, probably not. She will bifurcate your brains right out.
Yes.
That's not even a verb.
It is now.
We're making new verbs on the show.
Of course.
And that's the way we roll around here. So,
yep.
They Bleed Pixels is very strange. Lots of demonic creatures and environmental exploration and spikes and blood and one-button combo systems.
I like one buttons.
Yeah, well, you don't have opposable thumbs, so probably one button is...
Yes, it makes it so much easier for me.
That's right. So you got to juggle enemies and chuck them across the room and all that kind of thing.
Of course.
All right. So, well, now that we've done this best weird category,
yes,
let's move on to a new category.
Okay.
All right. So this is
what do you got, big boy?
This is going to be the most ambitious 2D video game of 2012.
This sounds interesting. Tell me more.
And the nominees are Retro City Rampage from V-Blank Entertainment, which was basically one guy. He started working on a game that was like an old school 8-bit version of Grand Theft Auto 3, and then trashed that and started working on the new game, and it took many, many years, but basically one guy crafted this gigantic retro throwback video gaming world that's very much like an old school GTA 1 or 2, only with tons of extra stuff and lots of references to other video games and pop culture. A Valley Without Wind from Arkin Games, which is probably one of the grandest 2D video games out there. It's procedurally generated worlds with essentially an infinite amount of content. It's completely open world. You can go anywhere at any time. You can go into harder areas to get more valuable stuff, to get better, projectiles and spells and all that kind of thing. And it's infinite exploration. Even after you beat the continent, you just get to keep going and going essentially forever. The company also is known for adding lots of new content after the releases, so even after the original game came out, lots of new things were released for that title. Dust, an Elysian Tale from Humble Hearts, which was once again a one-guy operation. A guy named Dean Dodrell worked on it for years, many, many years, created most of the content for the game, the art and the story and all that sort of thing, and he worked on it so much that it practically killed him. It was a real labor of love, and a beautiful game. And the winner for the most ambitious 2D game of 2012 goes to Dust, an Elysian Tale, which is from Humble Hearts. It's Dean Dodrell. So he put in so many hours working on the game and trying to meet deadlines and practically killed the guy to work on it for that long.
Wow.
Yep.
But it was so pretty.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous game, and one of the best written games out there as well. Good combat system, just a joy to play and just beautiful to look at it.
We're glad you made it, but next time, maybe not so intense, okay?
Yeah, take it easy on the next one. We don't don't kill yourself next time.
No.
All right, so you're telling me before that you want to do another category. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
So after the weirdest games, you decided let's do some more, right?
Yes. I would like to do an award for the It's About Damn Time!
It's an About Damn Time award, huh?
Yes, these people seriously need to, get with it.
Okay.
It took them way too long.
Okay, games that took way too long to come out?
Yes.
Okay.
There's several.
Okay, well, give me your list and we'll read the categories. What's your line?
And the nominees are...
La Mulana from Nigoro, which was released as a freeware PC game in 2005 in Japan, and then it was set to come out on WiiWare it was set to come out a long time ago, and then it got pushed back, and then it came out in Japan on WiiWare, but it didn't pass in the US, so it took a really long time to come out, and finally made it to WiiWare and PC in 2012. Spelunky from Mossmouth, which was also a freeware PC game. It came out in 2008. It got updated to version 1.0 in 2009. And then Derek Yu started working on an Xbox Live Arcade version that was very much more pretty, and it has all kinds of good lighting, and it has new modes, and it has new gameplay, and but it took a really long time to develop, and did eventually make it out in 2012. Retro City Rampage from V-Blank Entertainment, which was more than a 10-year labor of love for Brian Provinciano. Started out as an experimental title that he scrapped and then started over from scratch. And even then, it was coming out for multiple consoles all around about the same time. PC, WiiWare, PSN, XBLA, and took a really long time to finally hit on all of those systems. Alright, so the winner for your It's About Damn Time Awards, you've got the envelope here. Let me open this for you.
Thank you.
And what's the winner?
The winner is La Mulana.
La Mulana.
Yes.
Yep, so that turned out to be a pretty good game, right?
Yeah, I liked it.
But it took a really long time to make it out.
Way too long.
So yeah, with all of the stuff with trying to get it out on WiiWare and getting pushed back, and we really thought it might not ever come out on WiiWare.
No.
But it did finally make it, and it's an updated and improved version of the old PC game, which is a throwback to MSX games from the 80s.
Yes.
And it's kind of like that, only prettier. And
very pretty. It's
a Metroidvania, and it's super duper tough.
Yes. Which leads us to a new category.
That's right. So the new category that segues beautifully into,
yes,
of course, is the best use of brutal difficulty in
yes,
a 2D video game.
Otherwise known as How to Make Me Upset Because I Can't Push All the Buttons.
Yeah, these are hard.
Yes. That makes me mad.
And the nominees are Hotline Miami from Denaton Games, which features one-hit kills, very few checkpoints, and a mask system where you can very slowly earn new abilities to run through and beat the bejesus out of everything you see as fast as possible, without getting killed by missing a guy. Probability Zero by Draken, which is a game where it's an endless descent game where you will die. You play and then you die and then you get a little bit better and you die some more, and every time you get to a new level, you get new power-ups, and part of the fun is picking new power-ups to play through each time and playing it a little bit differently and getting a little better at the game as you die and die. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils by Platine Dispositif, which is a Metroidvania game with lots of weapons and no shortage of things that will kill your brains right out. Very tough, hard to even figure out where you're supposed to go, and lots of bosses, lots of tough situations, lots of different weapons to master. It's a rough one. They Bleed Pixels from Spooky Squid Games, where you get to learn how to do fighting moves and avoid spikes, and practically everything will kill you instantly. You actually have to kill people to even earn a checkpoint in this game, which is neat, but it's not easy. Slick by Halcyon SOFTWORKS, which is a purposely punishing game. They designed it specifically to be brutally, brutally difficult. So it's like platforming, only you have like a pixel with which to navigate, and every little mistake will kill you, and there's no checkpoints. You have to beat each almost single screen level on one shot. Onakin by Danilo Diaz and Pedro Paiva, which basically just features 8-bit old school difficulty, which you kind of forget how hard games used to be, and then this game is there to remind you. Spelunky from Mossmouth, which is a procedurally generated game, so it's different every time, but it has an old school difficulty. Pretty much everything you do will kill you, and you can accidentally kill yourself. You can fall down too far. You can do lots of things to hurt yourself, so you have to really learn the mechanics to not die. La Mulana from Nigoro, which is based on the old school MSX adventure games, which are purposely difficult. It's hard to even figure out where you're supposed to be going, what you're supposed to be doing, and pretty much everything will kill you, and you'll trap yourself and you'll die, and that's part of the charm of this game, is how hard it tries to kill you. Maldita Castilla from Locomolito, which is a game that's fairly easy to start and gets harder and harder as you go. So unlike Ghouls and Ghosts, it's actually a little forgiving in the beginning, which lulls you into a false sense of security as you get brutally murdered every step of the way in the back half of the game. And just when you think you've beaten the final boss, guess what? Just like Ghouls and Ghosts, you haven't. You get screwed in the end. And you smile and you play again. That's how it works. Black Knight Sword from Grasshopper Manufacturer, which is, once again, old school hard game. You have a limited number of lives. You can save your game, but it keeps track of how many lives you have left, which means you can actually run out and have to start the whole game from the beginning. Good for you. Alright, so those were a bunch of pretty tough games. You guys were very hard on us this year.
Yes, that was not cool.
There's usually, modern games tend to be a little bit easier. I think 2D games, though, they tend to go, well, it's a little old school, let's really crank up the difficulty level.
I hate you guys.
Alright, so let's see who's the winner for the best use of brutal difficulty, because some games are brutally difficult and some games do it well.
Yes.
Alright. So our winner for the best use of brutal difficulty in a 2D video game goes to Hotline Miami, where its one-hit kills encourage you to learn to look for bad guys everywhere, run fast, kick open doors, and be brutal. So the difficulty makes you be a more brutal killer, which is why it's a best use of brutal difficulty.
Killer of Russians.
Killer of Russians, that's right. Next up, an honorable mention is They Bleed Pixels, which actually requires that you brutally murder bad guys to create a checkpoint so that you can save your own life, and then traps you in rooms full of crazy, murderous bad guys.
I don't like bad guys. I like to kill them.
That's right. And there's saw blades and spikes and all kinds of terrible things that want to eat your brains.
I like my brains where they are.
They're tasty where they are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was dirty. Dirty and wrong.
Yes.
Alright,
Tasty brains.
And another honorable mention here goes to Probability Zero, which has a fantastic upgrade system. So every time you get to a new level, which is easy to start and harder as you go, you have to kill more and more guys as you go, you get to pick an upgrade. And based on your upgrade, that opens up a tree that depends on what future upgrades you get. So you can try out the different upgrades, play differently as you go, but it forces you to learn the mechanics to get past its brutal difficulty, because it's infinite. It just keeps killing you until you get better at it.
Yes.
And then it just kills you a little later.
And then you die.
And then you
over
die.
And over and over, and you're just like...
That's right. But it encourages replay.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm gonna do another category here.
Okay.
This is kind of a specialty category. This one is the best ninja game.
Hi-ya!
Hi-ya! So this is the best 2D game from 2012 that stars a ninja.
I like ninjas.
Alright, well, everybody loves ninjas.
Well, ninjas kill everybody.
That's right.
Not just Russians.
Ninjas are that one thing that you can put in any video game to make it better.
Yes.
Ninjas, monkeys, and fire trucks.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay.
And the nominees are Super Ninja Warrior Extreme from Ho Hum Games, which is one of those high-speed ninja hacky-slashy action games. Mark of the Ninja from Clay Entertainment, which is a low-speed, mostly stealth-based action game. Ninja Exorcist from Nebula Game Studios, which is an open exploration-based world where you can go pretty much wherever you want and grapple around and explore and kill people whenever you want to. And the winner for the best ninja game in 2012 goes to Mark of the Ninja from Clay Entertainment. So this is probably the best stealth action game in 2D anywhere. So you sneak through tunnels and you take care of line of sight, and you sneak up behind guys and stealthily kill them, and you get bonus points for killing them. It makes you very much feel like a ninja. Distract some guards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah!
Right. Then, an honorable mention is a game that plays exactly the opposite of that. Super Ninja Warrior Extreme is like all the old school ninja games, where you're basically an action game star, only you have a ninja sword. And it's all the guys with one-hit kills, the levels are fast, they start you out pretty easy, and they work you up to harder and harder levels. And you're basically just a high-speed, running, flying, jumping ninja. It's a lot of fun. It's an action game. It's good for you.
Well, but that's just silly.
What's silly about that?
Ninja. You can't just make a ninja category. That's ridiculous.
Ninja categories are viable. That's a fine category.
Well, if you get to make up your own category about ninjas, I want to make up a category of my own.
Oh, okay, so what category would you make up then?
Bunny rabbits.
Bunny rabbits.
Yes.
Okay, so what you want?
I want to talk about the best games starring bunny rabbits. You have ninjas. I have bunny rabbits.
Are there even that many games that starring?
There are. Let me educate you.
All right. So what are your nominees for the best bunny rabbit game?
Well, there are 3.
Okay, go.
Yes. So the first one is Bunny Must Die. Chelsea and the 7 Devils.
Okay, that's a pretty good game. Metroidvania, exploration, lots of weapons. Okay, Bunny Must Die.
Hell yeah! Wrath of the Dead Rabbit.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Dead
not
rabbits have more wrath than ninjas, you know.
Well, maybe. I don't know that that's necessarily as good a game as the ninja games, though.
Okay, and then also Offspring Fling.
Offspring Fling that's not really a rabbit.
It has a rabbit-styled thing.
I think she's like a bird or something.
I think she was a rabbit.
She's like a furry woodland creature.
You're a furry woodland creature.
You're a furry woodland creature.
Yes, I am.
All right, so if you're going to give out an award then for the best rabbit game, then
yes,
Offspring Fling isn't a rabbit game.
I hate you.
What's the best rabbit game then?
Fine, it'll be Bunny Must Die. Chelsea and the 7 Devils.
All right, Bunny Must Die. That's a good pick. It's a good
idea to kill bunnies.
If we're picking bunnies, that's probably the way to go.
Yes.
Well, now we're gonna move into genres. No ninja games and no bunny games.
Finally, something that's worth talking about.
All right. So we're gonna go into the best puzzle game or puzzle platformer.
Okay.
All right. And the nominees are Pushcat from Zut, which is a match 3 puzzler that has a boulder dash kind of thing going on there, and has new gameplay in every world. So every world has new types of blocks that react differently, so you have to learn as you go, and then some levels are like mad dashes to finish, and some are very strategic. City Tuesday from Return to Adventure Mountain, which, as we discussed, involves getting bombs and time traveling and resetting the day to get everything to line up just perfectly and solve the puzzle of the environment. Applejack 2 from My Owl Software, which has some straightforward action levels, but a lot of them involve figuring out which thing to toss into which other thing and maxing out your combo, and then later on they get it even harder where you can only throw a certain colored enemy at the same colored enemy to clear the level, and one enemy per one other enemy. You have to get your pandas and your washing machines and just bash them into each other. Out There Somewhere from Mini Boss, which starts you out with some real basic teleportation and then completely warps your mind. It's one of those games that starts with a basic, simple mechanic, and then it permutes on that in every possible way. So by the time you get to the end of the game, you've done everything that you could possibly do with that teleportation gun, then more advanced things than you thought you'd ever be able to do. Dust Force from Hitbox Team, which is the acrobatic dusting game. And that one is very puzzly. It's easy to just kind of get through the level, but to 100% the level, in order to unlock new levels and to get keys to get to even harder stuff, you have to get all the pieces of dust, every little bit done, which involves extreme precision platforming, perfect timing, precision jumps, and just a complete knowledge of how the environment works. Offspring Fling by Kyle Pulver, which is a game where you toss your cute and fluffy little babies around the room to flip switches and once again, starts out easy, and then you get into situations where you're going across multiple screens, and your babies are bouncing off these little trampolines and flying through the air, and you got to catch them in midair and switch red blocks to blue blocks and not get torched, and it gets pretty exciting. Probability Zero by Draken, which is an endless descent game where, as we mentioned before, you use power-ups to choose your path, so gameplay changes every time you play it, and it's very strategic. It's you can only fall a certain distance, you have to move around. Sometimes you can break blocks, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can kill anything by stepping on its head, and sometimes you can't, depending on the types of power-ups you've gotten along the way. And the winner for the best puzzler or puzzle platformer in 2012 is Offspring Fling.
Oh, okay.
You like Offspring Fling, right?
Yes, because I like throwing the bunny rabbits around.
I don't think they're bunny rabbits.
I think they are.
Maybe they look more. They may be birdies.
Maybe.
They can't fly though.
No.
Okay.
Neither can rabbits.
Rabbits cannot definitely not fly.
Well, you can if you throw them hard enough.
You're a bad horse.
I am.
Bad horse.
Bad horse.
Bad horse.
Bad horse.
Okay, we're not going to sing that song. We're going to get sued by Joss Whedon.
No, you're not.
All right. And
Joss is awesome.
Joss is awesome.
Yes.
And the honorable mention here goes to Dust Force.
Okay.
Which is, again, a very unique, it's almost not even a platformer. It's almost a, how do you solve this puzzle without stopping sort of game.
Okay.
It's very environmental.
I like that.
It's a good game.
Okay.
All right, so next up we're going to move into the next genre, which is...
More bunnies?
No more bunnies.
Aww.
I think the bunnies are just about done.
Aww.
This is the best action-adventure game or action RPG.
Oh, okay. Action is fun.
Action, we pretty much just play action games around here anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, so these are ones that got a little more exploration or storyline to them, though.
Okay.
All right. And
hit me.
I'll hit you.
Ooh.
And the nominees are A Valley Without Wind from Arcan Games, which doesn't have a whole lot in the way of story, but it has an infinite possibility when it comes to exploration. You have complete freedom to go wherever you want, whenever you want. You can even walk to the boss's front door and wrap your knuckles against there and say, let me in, and then, of course, he'll kill you. But you can explore, you can even basically control the difficulty. You decide when you want to advance, go anywhere, do what you want. It's a completely open game. Dust, an Elysian Tale from Humble Hearts, which is a game with an outstanding story, interesting NPCs, rewarding combat, lots of places to explore, beautiful environments, a very believable, cohesive world overall. La Mulana by Nigoro, which is a tough-as-nails, ultra-uber Metroidvania. It out-Metroidvania's Metroidvania, which, okay, there's not actually a game called Metroidvania, but it's tougher than most Metroidvania-style games because there's so many places to go, so many puzzles to solve. It's like every room you go into is a challenge just to figure out how to unlock what you need to do and get moving. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils from Platine Dispositif, which is also a Metroidvania title. Focuses more on keys than traditional things where you might get a different power to explore. But you do have to slowly kind of branch your way out, master different weapons, find the right key, unlock the door, pick the key back up because you need it later. Very exploration-based. Knit Underground from Niflis, which is the latest in the Knit series of games, which are all like atmospheric adventure games. This is very beautiful, huge world. It's single-screen environments. There's like 1,800 screens to explore. You start out as a little girl, and then you play part of it as like a ball, and then you can transform into both, one or the other, and just you have a huge world to explore that you can get around in almost any way you want, with the exception of the doorways leading to the bells, because those are all very difficult to get to. And the winner for the best action-adventure or action RPG, 2D, 2012, that's what we're doing, is
what?
Dust, an Elysian Tale.
Oh yeah, I like that game. It's very pretty.
It's a very pretty game. So we've talked about it a bunch already, but it is, as far as action RPGs go, it's phenomenal. It's extremely well written. One of the best written RPGs out there.
Yes.
It's got interesting characters. It's got a believable, nice, cohesive world.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's a solid game, and the combat's really good. It's a little bit easy, but there's lots of moves to learn and lots of things to do and places to see, and it's a good game.
Okay then.
All right, so now we're gonna move into the last genre.
Okay.
So we did action puzzle and action RPG
and bunnies
and action bunnies.
Yes, and ninjas.
Ninjas too.
Yes.
So this time we're just gonna do straight up action.
Woo!
So the best, just flat out action game. All right. So
let's do it.
Let's do it. The nominees are Hotline Miami from Denaton Games, which is top-down game where you punch and shoot and slice the crap out of everybody you see, and as fast as possible. Faster the better. They Bleed Pixels from Spooky Squid Games, which is Lovecraftian kung fu. First you kung and then you fu. You punch, you combo, you air juggle, you spike guys to death. Oniken from Danilo Diaz and Pedro Paiva, which is old school action, 8-bit style. You just kind of run through. You kill every single thing that moves. If it's moving, it deserves death as fast as possible. Compromised from Super Soul, which is a dark and atmospheric shooter. There's actually a lot of story going on for a shooter, and you're sort of getting through the environment and unlocking a little bit of the extra story, and it's very, very dark. You're very much on your own, but you're still shooting everything you see. Velocity from Future Lab, which is a shmup, but it's also a teleportation game. So you shoot everything, and then you blow up stuff to get power-ups, and then you bomb stuff, and then you teleport back, and you just do more of that. More shooting. And then there's some, like, super fast levels where you just go as fast as you can, and you shoot, and you rescue people, and that's how that goes. SEAL Team 12 from Social Loner Studios, which is a top-down action game. It's dual analog. You aim, you shoot, you drive tanks, you go in co-op, so you and your friend can double shoot everybody and double tank everybody, just like you used to back in Kari Warriors. Super Ninja Warrior Extreme from Ho Hum Games, which is an extremely fast ninja action game. Some levels you beat them in like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You just run through and slash, slash, slash. Even the little bosses at the end of the level, they take 2 hits. It's a very fast game, very satisfying. Alright, that's a lot of action.
It sure was.
Alright, so let's find out what the best action game was.
Oh, I can't wait.
Alright, the best 2D action game in 2012 was...
Was?
Oniken!
Oniken!
Yes.
Okay.
Is Super Ninja Warrior Extreme. Extreme, exactly.
Extreme. Yes.
It's hardcore.
It sure is.
Alright. So Super Ninja Warrior Extreme is a very fast-paced action game.
Woo!
You go quick. There's no slow points in that game.
No.
And probably about the first 2/3 of the game is like so fast you just blaze through, and then they start challenges with some extra stuff to really make you hone your ninja skills.
Yes.
But it's fast.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yes.
We're done with all the genres.
No, there's one more.
There's another one?
Yes.
What, a new category?
One last category.
Okay. So it's the best games, right?
No, not exactly.
Not exactly the best games? No. That's usually the way these award shows go, though.
Oh, this is the biggest disappointment of 2012.
The biggest disappointment?
Yes.
Okay.
There were several.
Okay, yeah. So we don't really do reviews on 8-Bit Horse, but so we typically only play games that are good, or games that are promising, because there are tons and tons of just really terrible games made every year, and we don't want to play bad games.
No,
we like good games.
We do.
But sometimes a game looks like it's going to be pretty good.
It sure does.
And then it's not.
And it just
exactly. So you got three nominees here. So. For the most disappointing games.
Yes, I have 3 nominees.
All right, so what are they?
Okay, so the nominees are Street Fighter Cross Mega Man by Capcom.
Okay, Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. So this is not a terrible game in and of itself.
No, not really, but
it's just not a great celebration of the anniversary of Mega Man.
No.
So it's if you hadn't put the anniversary logo on there, we probably people would have been like, "Hey, this is cool." But you put that on there,
and it just didn't work.
Exactly. This is not a celebration of all of the decades of Mega Man. Mega Man Legends 3 is all gone, and so here, just for a point of reference, an anniversary. Okay, here's how Nintendo celebrates their anniversaries.
Show me.
Okay, Kirby,
Ooh.
20th anniversary, 6 Kirby games.
I like that game.
Plus a soundtrack.
Yes.
And a booklet.
And a booklet.
Okay, that's Kirby.
Yes.
All right. Super Mario Brothers.
Ooh, look at that! It's gold and everything.
25th anniversary.
25th.
Comes with a soundtrack. Comes with a Mario history book.
Yes.
It's a re-release of Super Mario All-Stars, but it's...
Look at how pretty that is.
There's extra stuff.
Extras.
And then The Legend of Zelda. Now, they didn't have a compilation coming. They just had Skyward Sword. That was their big release. It just happened to coincide with the anniversary. But because of that, free Golden Wii Remote, and by free I mean $20 extra.
Yes.
That's
$20 is like free.
Yeah, $20 is like free if you're a big stupid fan of the Legend of Zelda series.
Like you are.
Like I am. Yes. And then there's also an orchestrated soundtrack CD.
Yes.
And they had the Zelda concert.
Yeah, we went to that.
We did go to that. It was awesome, right?
It really was.
25th anniversary.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Zelda, and Link got arrested.
Yeah, Link did get arrested.
That was good times.
It was good times. You can...
We laughed at him.
8bithorse.com, you can see Link getting arrested.
Yes, it's very funny. Go look at it now.
This is an anniversary. These are anniversary celebrations.
Yes.
All of these.
Yes.
And Capcom Capcom, what is it? Street Fighter Cross Mega Man.
Yes, Street Fighter Cross Mega Man.
Mega Man Cross Street Fighter.
That's the one.
Whatever the one. That's not an anniversary celebration.
No.
It's a cool little fun experiment. That's not the way to celebrate.
No.
Do better on the 30th.
That's right.
We're all counting on you.
Yes. And then there was this snapshot retro effect.
Snapshot from Retro Effect.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a game. It's a really cool concept. Actually, Kyle Pulver, who did Offspring Fling.
Yes, where you throw the bunnies.
Did you throw the bunnies? We're never going to get rid of the bunnies.
No.
He worked on this as well. He's one of the main guys behind Snapshot.
Yes.
It's a really cool game when things are moving along slowly.
Right.
But as an action game, it's very troublesome because if you play with a mouse and a keyboard, it's pretty much fine.
But who does that now?
Well, yeah, PC gamers.
Oh,
probably.
yeah, we like those guys.
But if you do like a touchpad, that's not going to work. If you try dual analog, and it was weird because the game's supposed to come out on PS3 and Vita as well, which means you're only going to be able to do dual analog. So when you have to do precision platforming and run and jump and like take a picture or something while you're in midair or drop something, yeah, it gets a little frustrating.
Sure does.
So it's not a good fast-paced game. Good slow-paced game. Fast-paced is not where it's at.
Yes. And then there was this game called Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit, which I thought had a lot of potential because it was about a dead rabbit.
Yep.
But
it had lots of potential.
Yeah.
It was developed by Arcado, who did the Arcado series. Lots of really good, like, little games.
Right.
And it was published by Sega. I mean,
well, we like those guys.
We like Sega, yeah.
Yeah.
And just did not live up to its potential.
No.
It's got some problematic controls. You got dual analog plus buttons on the face that you have to work at the same.
Do you see me being able to use these?
Yeah. These little hooves. They're not doing that.
You're not
actually
helping me.
Unless you have 3 or maybe 4 fingers or thumbs. It's not really working.
No.
So you had that, and you had
I even used my tail.
Right. And you had some areas where you have 100 unique creatures to find, and you kill them, and they all die in a unique way. But there's only so many of those, and they get old fast, and the game kind of drags on a little bit.
It sure did.
So those are 3. Those are somewhat disappointing games. So I take it you have a most disappointing game.
It had to be the one, the Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit.
Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit.
Yeah, I really wanted more dead rabbits.
It's not a lot of dead rabbits. It was a decent game, but it was a little disappointing that presentation values were extremely high, and then gameplay wise it just kind of dragged on.
It made me go.
All right, so I think we should end the show though on a high note.
Yes.
We should do the traditional the best of, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I like that idea.
So I'm going to give you a list of all the best 2D games in 2012.
Okay.
These are all wonderful games.
Yes.
Every single one of them. If you like the genre, you like the play style, you should go out, you should buy them.
Okay.
Every last one of them.
I agree with you there.
Okay. But it'd be kind of a cop-out if we didn't, like, name one as the best, right?
No, yeah, that's right. We gotta do that.
Right, because everybody's gonna be like, dude, we were voted #1.
Yes.
On 8-Bit Horse.
You get a no prize.
A no prize. You win the Marvel no prize.
That's right.
And we love the no prize.
We love the no prize. You are gonna get a no prize. Somebody, some lucky game is gonna get a no prize.
Alright, so.
Prestigious.
We're gonna find out who gets the no prize.
Ooh, let's.
These are all great. Play them all. Buy them all.
Yes.
But we're gonna give you one best one. So,
yes.
The best 2D game of 2012
is...
We gotta do the nominees, dude.
Oh, okay, so the nominees are...
And the nominees are Offspring Fling from Kyle Pulver. Very tightly designed action puzzle platforming game with bunnies tossing. Not really bunnies, though. Furry little animal tossing. Oniken from Danilo Diaz and Pedro Paiva, which, again, retro throwback to the 8-bit era. Dust, an Elysian Tale from Humble Hearts, which is a beautiful and well-written action RPG. Mark of the Ninja from Clay Entertainment, a 2D ninja stealth action game. Hotline Miami from Denaton Games, which features brutal, surreal ass-beating constantly. They Bleed Pixels from Spooky Squid Games, a lo-fi gothic horror action game with a schoolgirl chopping up monsters with her bare hands. And so we got a winner.
We do.
Of course.
Yes.
The best 2D game of 2012. It's right here in this envelope. It's here.
Oh.
Can you taste it?
I can taste it.
All right. So, the best.
It's good.
It's a good game. It tastes good.
It is.
So the best 2D game
is
of 2012 is Oniken. So it's a retro game, so it's got the nostalgia factor, but it's very tightly designed. Lots of interesting bosses, lots of gameplay, up close, hacky slashy action, precision platforming.
Yes.
You got like a vehicle segment when you get into the beginning of level 2.
Ooh, I'm driving in.
It's good. They even they released new game level.
Yes.
New game level. That's how it works.
Yes.
So even after you've beaten the game, you can go and download the Mission 7.
So which it just keeps going.
Yeah, so it's a different character, and she's got a gun, so it's her playing through and shooting the... It's actually a little easier because you got a gun instead of sword and grenades.
Yes.
But it's got the same retro charm, good, solid, old school, classic gameplay.
It was fun.
That's the best game of 2012 in 2D.
Yes. Certainly was.
We had a good time with it.
We did.
So go buy it. Go buy them all.
Oh.
And if you would like to get more details about all these games,
yes, you can go to our website.
That's right. And how do they get to our website?
You go to 8bithorse.com.
8bithorse.com.
I look a little different on there.
Yeah, the 8-bit horse is like a blue and white kind of jaggedy.
I would like to think that I am sexier in person though.
The 8-bit horse is sexier in person.
Look at me go.
Alright, so for more info on all of those games, be sure to check out 8bithorse.com.
Yes.
And we'll be back again with more wonderful features in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
2013.
That's right. Until then,
I'm the 8-bit horse.
And I'm AJ. We'll talk to you.
AJ.
We'll talk to you next time.
We sure will. See you then.
See you then.
And I love 2D video games. But you know what I don't love? Puppet cancer. Only you can prevent puppet cancer by playing 2D video games.